Sadhana, awakening here and now. So here, now, there is no limitedness of the space. And here and now, there is no limitedness of time. It is the intellect that creates time and the space, it limits it. So when we say awaken here and now, the mind is pure, free from desires that pulls the mind outside. And when it pulls the mind outside, time and the space is created. Then the intellect creates through the logic that I'm here at the airport and I'm at home, I'm driving. So the mind creates the space when it moves outside. So understand the world here and now as an expression of the mind goes beyond the mind. Just you are here and now. The mind pulls you, no, 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 I'm at the airport. So when there is a here and now, that space which is confined and labeled as an airport is gone. Last time we understood what Vivekananda says. We only know the universe from the point of view of the sense organs, supported by the mind. Suppose we obtain another sense. So what it means? Let all the five sense organs continue their working, but I leave them and maintain my awareness. This is what the Ashtavakra says. Yadi deham prathakratya chiti vishramya tishtasi. If, you see that I'm using if, the knowledge in the mind separates the body from the mind drops all the activities in the time space with people. The mind settles down inside. The moment the mind settles down inside, adhunaiva sukhi shanta, here and now I'm in peace and happiness. And if we continue the journey, bandha mukto bhavishyasi. The great master Ashtavakra says, I become free from the bondage. Great masters of today, those who are very famous, they teach from this great master, the teachings of the great master. So just awaken here and now. Let us go a little deeper. You are in deep sleep, now you wake up. Before your mind starts pulling you with these thoughts, you live into that waking state without mind, here and now. We need not to stretch too much. It is already there. Then what happens the moment I wake up? Mind says, go back to the same world of suffering, of pleasure, of relationship. So that creates the time past, present, and the future. And that creates space, that creates pain, that creates pleasure, that creates that are labels that I'm a businessman, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a daughter. What is sadhana? Sadhana is awakening here and now. Awakening here. Now, what we normally do, that is why you had this question. We normally do sadhana in time and space. But if we do sadhana in time and space to go beyond time and space, then this sadhana becomes fruitful. And the literal meaning of the sadhana, if you go into the essence of it, I have been repeating it, moving away from what is not desired, moving near to what is desired. One example, from home to office, you are going farther from the home by default naturally, and we reach to the office naturally. So now let us understand this sadhana as we have understood in the previous talks. There is a four-step sadhana, there is a five-step sadhana, there is you can say there is a 9-step sadhana, there is 12-step sadhana. So one after the other we will go little deeper. How the sadhana looks like when we follow 4 steps or 5 steps. That is one way to understand, or just understand what the sadhana, what the journey looks like. What the journey looks like. What the journey looks like. So the 4 steps. What is the 4 step? Sadhana, the practice, sadhaka, the seeker, sadhya, the goal, and the siddha, the awakening. Out of the 4, which one is more important? If there is no seeker, you continue the sadhana, it will not be fruitful. If you are not a seeker, you don't remember your goal of the sadhana. The goal of the sadhana is to go beyond and behind. If you are not a seeker, then you are not aware of the siddha, the final destination. See that? So out of the 4, to become a seeker seems to be most important. 4 steps. What the journey looks like. Now in the 12-step journey, the first step is to know the departure point. You are at the airport. You know the departure point. Do I know the departure point? The knowledge in the mind. What is that knowledge in the mind? The masters in the teachings of the Eastern wisdom says, do I really recognize that when the mind works in the time and the space, it causes the limitedness, and because of the limitedness, I am attracted to an object, and that leads to an attachment, that leads to a desire, that leads to the confusion. There is a loss of memory, there is a loss of intelligence, and that leads to delusion, and the delusion continues the suffering. Do I know the knowledge in the mind? Do I experience? So that experience is suffering. So the mind again gains the knowledge from the teacher that I have to be a seeker. And the goal of the seeker is to know the self discovery. But there are hundreds of works that I need to do. Continue doing it. There must be an inner orientation. The person lives as a seeker inside and outside. Outside there is a play and perform. Understand the common point. You're going to Israel, good, then you will return home, then you'll go to another country, then you'll go to home, you go to the office. Variety, there are many points, many destinations, many works outside. Once we understand there is an awakening here and now. Variety is there and the mind is attracted to the variety and it continues the journey of the pain and pleasure. The journey of a seeker is to reach to the common point. What is that common point? My true nature, myself. Why I say awakening here and now? In the store, in the shopping mall, there are thousands of people. Your eyes are open. You recognize, here is my honey out of the thousands of people. Do you recognize a common point? The time and the space simply drops. Awakening is here now.